one of the things that, as we briefed senior leadership on a couple of these specific pilot projects we wanted to do, they said, Shelly, this looks like a Gantt chart that's going to cost me a lot of money. And the way I want to think about it is you are either increasing revenue or you're actually putting money back into the business because you're creating efficiencies through some of this automation. So how do you really ultimately think about the metrics and the return on investment specifically for these couple of projects that you specifically want to do? And ultimately, how does that advance us against the set of objectives and parameters that we really want to put in place to become more data-driven overall? And so we started thinking through, because we do a lot of reporting, so we have plenty of numbers. That wasn't really the challenge. But some of the challenges that I thought we faced was thinking about those baseline metrics in a way where we could make a change. So thinking about setting up the specific things we wanted to measure and making sure that when we did make that change and implement, a new process, a new technology, a new set of data, a change, that we could ultimately measure those metrics again on the back end and ultimately see if we needed to tweak the change to be able to ultimately get to where we wanted to with regards to the project. So this is something we're still working on as an organization. I'm sure many of you might be in that same stage as well. But what has been successful in the sense of kind of explaining it to people is to really put a point on what it looks like from an hours and cost perspective, right? So making sure one of the processes that we are in the process of changing right now is an approval process that each and every one of our staff does on a daily basis and that our managers do twice a month. And it doesn't take a lot of time, but it takes minutes to half hours worth of time out of everybody's day when we need to complete these approvals. And so by adding automation in and actually doing almost like a stop timer on how long it takes folks to do those small bits of work, we were actually able to multiply that out and aggregate it to be hundreds of thousands of hours worth of our employees' time and essentially millions of dollars that we're spending a year on kind of an administrative project. So once folks saw those numbers and knew that we had used kind of a conservative approach to get there and to talk about it, they were much more comfortable with kind of where we were going, what the overall benefit of that particular project was, and why we should advance it kind of moving forward.